Hi guys, I'm laying down.
I have to fill you in on so fucking much. So just go ahead, get your tea, or in my case, your coffee from 7-Eleven, and get comfortable because girls, we gotta talk. Girls and guys, we gotta talk. So, first thing I want to address, where have I been? I was on a consistent recording basis, and all of a sudden I just kind of dipped off. And it wasn't because I was like not being legit. What had happened was my son got really sick. He had strep throat. This bothers me a lot. Why does this happen? Does anybody else wear chokers and like the string be hanging right here? So ugly. I'll try that again. Yeah, my son got really sick. Like really sick. We went to go see Black Panther and it was the bomb. Let me just go ahead and show you guys my look to go see Black Panther because y'all, your girl took it real serious, okay? Real serious. We went to go see Black Panther, and then when we were done with Black Panther, my son was looking real sickish, and I'm like, what's wrong? And he said, you know, my head hurts, I'm having trouble breathing, he has asthma. So I'm like, he probably just needs to go to urgent care. We go to urgent care, y'all, his fever was 102.5, and he definitely was not even able to stand at this point. Come to find out, he has strep throat and the flu. So, being the mother that I am, I had to completely stop everything and take care of my baby. But he is much better now. So, let's round of applause for that. Yeah, he's much better now. So, I'm back recording now. Also, no more phone recording, guys. I finally got my camera. Oh my God, leave me alone. I do love it so far. Quality's pretty good. I'm feeling like I look real fleeky in this camera. And now I don't have to use my phone anymore. I just wasn't feeling that. It's not that my phone was a bad thing. It's just I'm really not feeling using my phone. So that's one thing. What's another big thing? Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys want a tutorial on this. I am going to do a tutorial on my crayon case. Guys, I waited so long to get this palette, and I believe it's all sold out right now. I'm not sure if they restocked it, but guys, my Black Panther look, let me show you again, was all done with this palette. So maybe I'll do a tutorial on that. But today, we are here to talk about my job. So briefly before, I did mention what I do for a living. I pick up dead people. Yeah, that's what I do. I always get a lot of questions about my job. Even when I'm out in the field, I get a lot of questions as to why I would ever want to do something so morbid. Yeah, so let's talk about it. Let's get some tales from the dead. The main frequently asked question that I get is, how the hell did you get into this job? And that is because I was actually going to school to be a mortician, and I was going to embalm people. Oh my gosh. Let me just go ahead and mute my phones. My mother was a banker, and she met one of the people that do this business, and I tried to get in touch with him. He pushed me over to the person that does another county, and I ended up, long story short, getting the job. And so I thought I was going to be doing funeral home type of shit. I found out real quick that we be doing crime scenes and suicides and overdoses and car accidents, and it was like, whoa, this real right here. This is the real deal, what we're doing here. So I was like, okay, you know, this is different, but fuck it, you know, I'll stick with it. And that was 4 years ago, and I actually still very much so enjoy my job. I did have to take a break when I got sick. I found out I had breast cancer while I was working this job, so I did take kind of a year break just to get myself back together, and I came back. So guys, I must really like this shit, and I don't know why. Another frequently asked question about my job is, do I lose sleep at night? Girl, let me tell you, no. I sleep just fine. Working with Detroit, I'm sure anyone that's watching this has heard about something that's happened in Detroit. If you haven't, you must live under a fucking rock. It's a lot of things that happen, and I do see some very unfair death. I see some very I don't even know how to put it into words, guys. Just, I see some fucked up shit. You know, I see a lot of people that aren't supposed to be there. Like, you know, a girl sitting in a car with her guy in the hood talking in a car at night, and somebody just shooting the car up. I've picked up those calls. I've picked up calls where, you know, people spazzed out and just killed everybody in the house and then killed themselves. I've picked up calls where you know, it was an altercation that went wrong and someone ended up dead. I mean, these are things that happen on a very frequent basis. I won't say on an everyday basis, but definitely on a weekly basis. We pick up, I mean, multiple times a week we pick up homicides, and all I can say to that is, unfortunately, the atmosphere of these certain situations, it just ends that way. And until the world starts living in complete peace, you know, this is how it's going to be. So I don't beat myself up over what I see, because I didn't cause it. I just look at it as a way of, I know to avoid sitting in a car anywhere at night or even in the day. I don't like sitting in a car. I don't believe that it's safe. For my job, I have literally seen that's one of the most unsafe things that you can do. So I wouldn't recommend doing it. The next thing that I see a lot of is suicides. I mean, it is at an all-time high. I mean, at all ages, we see them. And honestly, because of the things that I dealt with, I don't want to say it's good for me to see it, but it's very, I say, humbling for me to see that it's not uncommon for you to lose it. It's not uncommon for you to feel like life is too much. And a lot of people, unfortunately, take their life because their life is overwhelming. They take their life because of bad relationships. That's what I won't get. I don't understand it. I take these cases as a way to make sure that I keep my mental health on point, because I have kids and I don't want to leave them, and I don't want them to have to find out later in life that I killed myself because life was too much. That's just a lot. And I see a lot of that. I've seen cases where a mother who, you know, was on drugs mistakenly killed their child and went to jail, and then, you know, they got out and they couldn't take the heat from what they did, so then they killed themselves. I mean, that type of stuff right there, let me tell you, it's a lot. It's intense to know that, you know, this, not only did you take your child's life, but it was too much for you to live on, so you took your own life. Then again, on the other side, I picked up babies out of garbages, guys. I mean, what I can say about, and I guess this kind of jumped into a different subject, but I see a lot of, like, bad, not want to say bad moms, but fucked up moms, okay? When I pick up a baby, because yes, children do die, unfortunately, a lot, sometimes it's natural, sometimes it's not. But when I pick up a battered child, or I pick up a kid who played with a gun and, you know, shot themselves, or someone played with a gun and shot them, or I pick up a child who was beat by their parents or just neglected altogether, what I do with that, I mean, it does break my heart to see a battered baby. There is nothing worse than seeing a battered baby. Sometimes I truly feel anger for some of the things that happen to these children. But the way that I go on is by knowing that I am not that mother. I'm not the mother that would do that to their child. I have to remind myself that these things are possible. This could happen to anybody. So we are not here to judge. That's not what we do. We're not going to judge what somebody did. We can definitely have anger towards what somebody did, or we can use what happened to them to be like, okay, this is what I'm not going to do to mine. I'm not gonna kill my kid. I'm not gonna beat them even when they're frustrating. I'm not gonna just take their life. I mean, that happens so much, guys. It's crazy. But yes, battered babies, definitely, they are hard. Okay, we'll just leave that there. Next thing, we can talk about accidental. There's no way that a child can die that doesn't make me upset, but accidental children deaths are awful, from car accidents, from house fires. I've definitely seen a lot of those. I hate that type of call, because I automatically think about the parents, like, wow, that mom, you know, was at home and her kids were getting dropped off, and someone that was drunk hit the car and killed her child. I mean, these are things that could have again happened to anybody, and the fact that that's so close to home. And how many times are my kids in the car with other people? How many times are my kids in the car with me? I mean, these are things that are just tough to take in sometimes. But again, I know it's a circle of life, and I know that there is a higher power that protects us, and that says these things have to happen for a reason. I do have solace knowing that these children were innocent, and they're gonna live in heaven, and that is the way that I deal with it too. Yeah, that's okay. Next topic. The next thing that I like to talk about is relationship related deaths, whether it's someone killing their boyfriend or girlfriend, or someone just being in a bad relationship, getting battered. I mean, those type of things are very personal to me. I was in an abusive relationship before, and it is very humbling and very eye-opening to realize how near death I was, and it makes me appreciate my life even more. Abusive relationships are terrifying, and they're very hard to get out of, and sometimes when you don't have the support from your family, you don't have any support from your friends or family, and you end up feeling like this is all you have, you stay in a situation that's very dangerous. And a lot of times we tend to judge girls that are in abusive relationships when we need to reach out and love those girls. I mean, it's hard when you depend on somebody, the breadwinner, and you're just kind of like, oh, I'm just here. I gotta take whatever they put out because I need them. I mean, this happens a lot. Those type of calls definitely are eye-opening to me. If I even feel like a person to be abusive, they cut off. So that's something I learned from my job. Don't drink and drive. A lot of drunk drivers. And it's not always the drunk driver dying, it's the drunk driver killing innocent people. And that shit pisses you off, because these people just going to work and somebody is drunk and they run them off the road. Like, I picked up a lot of those. I definitely picked up, you know, some calls where people are blowing their phones up. Like, you just hear their cell phones going off and the person died in a car accident. That's so sad. That's so sad. If people are calling me, I like to make sure I respond, and even if it's through a text message, because you never know. You just never know. I do get a little anxiety if I can't reach someone for a whole day, because I know what a day could mean. You know, in the long run, I know that can mean they're in danger, or, you know, maybe they're just not by their phone. But I mean, we're talking about a whole day here. We're almost always by our phones. Like, even as I record, my phone's right here. So most people have their phones at all times. So after seeing, you know, a lot of, I mean, at least I can think off a rip, at least 10 people in the last 4 months whose phone was blowing up and they were dead. Wow, that's deep. Heroin. Let's talk heroin. Heroin is like rampant right now. I don't know what the appeal is with heroin, but we get a lot of people that overdose on heroin, guys. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what the appeal is. We pick up a lot of young, healthy people that did heroin, guys. I mean, what in the hell? I am not here to judge, but y'all just leave them drugs alone, okay? Because if it only can end one way, you're going to be in jail or you're going to be dead. That's it. Or you're gonna be fucked up. Face all messed up, teeth all messed up. Like, let's just leave that alone. Let's be high on life. Because, y'all, some of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen are decomposed people. Oh, guys, I picked up a dude who blew his head off. Okay, so he shot himself through the mouth and then went through his brain with a sawed-off shotgun. No one found him for 5 days, and it was like 90 degrees outside for those 5 days. So when we got there, it was maggots. It was, oh, the stench was unreal. There were flies everywhere. We actually had the suit up head to toe in what we call a Tyvek suit, and that shit was crazy. It's not funny. It was crazy. Like, I get there and I'm just like, oh, who's supposed to pick this body up? Oh, right, me. I'm supposed to do it. Right. So, yeah, that was gross. And as we're moving him, the remainder of his brain fell out. And it was like maggots in that too. Oh, I can almost taste it. The smell. I could taste the smell. It's so pungent. So pungent. But it was just like, ew. He probably thought somebody was going to find him the next day. And like, nobody found him for days. He was just in there dead. Which I guess is kind of sad. But I was just irritated. Because, bro, like, could you have done this, like, you know, outside where somebody could have saw you right away so we didn't have to pick up maggot activity? Like, I hate maggots. Oh, I hate maggots. I hate maggots. I hate maggots. We come into some houses where the people have been dead for a month. And I'm talking, they coming apart at this point. We had to come take the top half, and the bottom half was all fucked up because they ate his middle. And so we just taking out, you know, arms and the head, and then, you know, dick and legs. It was just fucked up. I mean, oh my God, yo. Decomposed people in water. So that's a little bit about my job. If you're gonna do something like this, just, you gotta have a strong stomach, and yeah, you gotta kind of have a crude sense of humor, and you gotta not take shit to heart. It's just a crazy job, and it has a lot of things that's different from other jobs. So that's pretty much it. If you aren't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, guys. I got some cool shit coming. I'll be interviewing the kids soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's about it. If there's any other type of videos you'd like to see, let me know. And yeah, sorry I was gone for a few days, but I'm back. So talk to you guys soon. Bye.